VGK's Bruce Cassidy joins some familiar names and faces on the 2025 Four Nations Faceoff Team Canada coaching staff. We will fill you in next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You could find us wherever you get your podcast, and please make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So Bruce Cassidy, he'll join head coach John Cooper of Tampa Bay on Cooper's coaching staff for Team Canada in the inaugural Four Nations Faceoff. And I also believe this will be the coaching staff for the 2026 Canadian Olympic team. So check this out, Chris. Cassidy's on a staff that has some familiar faces. Peter DeBoer, former Golden Knights head coach, and one Misha Donskoff, both of the Dallas Stars. Wait, Donskoff sent on his way from Cassidy's VGK coaching staff a couple of seasons ago, Mr. Future Endeavors. Donskoff will be on this coaching staff. So awkward. Rick Tocchet is also on the coaching staff for Team Canada. And hold my Molson right now.
Molson?
The general, I had to go Canadian. The general manager of Team Canada is none other than Don Sweeney. Yes, that Don Sweeney, the one that fired Bruce Cassidy in Boston. I would like to personally just be behind the scenes for all these interactions. This is going to be insane. Just funny, right? I'd like to personally see some of these interactions for Team Canada behind the scenes.
What I want to know is when you have that many core decision makers, right? Cassidy on the bench answers to nobody. Same with Cooper. Same with DeBoer. It's their team, right? How do they adjust to becoming an assistant coach? That's what they are. I mean, Cooper obviously is going to be the head coach, but DeBoer and Cassidy as assistants, like I'm not knocking them or anything. I just wonder if it's an easy adjustment for them to step back into those roles. DeBoer's been a head coach forever, and Cassidy not as long, but definitely a long time. So you just wonder. I mean, it's not like an all-star game where they're just behind the bench yakking, with the players and stuff the whole time. They're working, they're coaching. I just wonder if there's going to be any. It's a lot of big personalities is what I'm ultimately getting at. I wonder how they will work together. I mean, you have a lot of Stanley Cups, you have a lot of playoff games experience. It's not like anyone is, there's no weak links back there. So you just wonder how that shakes out and how much coaching does that team really need at that point? Like, I don't know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Well, I just read a quote about Don Sweeney yesterday about each coach taking on a specific area. So what area will Bruce Cassidy handle? The roles included power play, penalty kill, and neutral zone. I'd have to guess neutral zone, right? Like those are the three specific areas that he broke down.
As far as
coaching areas, who's going to get that coaching
defensive coach, forward coach, special teams, and off you go.
Wait, hang on. Cassidy special teams coach?
That's what I was also. That's
would
why
that be your guess? Power play, penalty kill, or neutral zone. Those I think were the only ones that I said specifically.
Yeah. God. I would say Cassidy would be better on the defensive side. I think the defensive side, definitely.
Okay.
You talk about the system that he has, right? The Golden Knights deploy a system that is tough to play against in the neutral zone. It's tough to get those odd man rushes and things like that. And I mean, it's going to be a pretty good core of defensemen like what the Golden Knights currently have. So I think Cassidy on the defensive side is probably where he slots in. DeBoer certainly has a little more of the offensive accolades. We've joked about the power play and stuff before, but I think DeBoer's offensive accolades are better than are better than Cassidy's.
6 players already selected for Team Canada: Braden Point, Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Brad Marchand, and Connor McDavid. That's a lot of, yeah, you don't really need to coach those guys. And the rest of the roster, Chris, will be announced between November the 29th and December the 2nd. And so they're going to be evaluating players in the early parts of this season to fill in those other roster spots. It's a 7-game tournament, February the 12th through the 20th. And so it's going to be pretty interesting. Also of note, right now, the big talk in Canada, which is not up there according to Bruce Cassidy, that's down there, down in Canada, right? Probably. Okay, so goaltending, a big question, a huge question. They had names that I've seen out there would be Aiden Hill, Jordan Binnington, Stuart Skinner, Cam Talbot.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of high power names there and such, and I think health will be a determining factor, number one. As someone who supports the Golden Knights, I don't want to see Aiden Hill. I don't want. I mean, I don't know. In season tournaments rub me the wrong way a little bit. Olympics rub me the wrong way a little bit. When the season is going, you could have a team that's in first place comfortably going to go to the playoffs. Looks like they are going to possibly make a run for a Stanley Cup. And now there's a good chance that that team's best players will have some extra wear and tear on them. Aiden Hill obviously has had major health issues for his entire career. Still has yet to appear in greater than 35 regular season games. So just talk about Aiden Hill for a second. Let's say Aiden Hill he's got a healthy season. Everything is going wonderful for him, which is what Golden Knight fans and what we as supporters certainly hope is going to happen. Aiden Hill, let's say come February, he's appeared in 39 games, on track for 53 appearances, which would be a wonderful number for any starting goalie, especially Aiden Hill. He goes to the tournament, plays 2 of the games, however it shakes out, does the practices, and all of a sudden he comes back a little bit tired, suffers some type of injury. You never know. And I'm not trying to say I hope that happens by any means, but that's always the concern with in-season play.
Yeah, I really do want to see the interactions with everyone there because they're going to have to meet a ton of Zoom calls, and I cannot wait to see some of the reactions.
They put all that beside. I mean,
they'll bury the hatchet, yes, to some degree. Come on, that Cassidy, he can't let things go. Him and Don Sweeney.
Yeah, no, that's a rocky relationship. I mean, you definitely go back to the stuff that we highlighted when Cassidy was announced as the coach. I mean, Cassidy got the dreaded support, right? He got the dreaded press conference where it seemed like it was all systems go for Cassidy, and then a 2-week period, something happened. Cassidy's out. Obviously, the Golden Knights swoop in, and things worked out just fine for all parties concerned. If anything, Cassidy should thank Sweeney for what happened out there. But you look at the whirlwind of coaches. I mean, again, we're talking about Cassidy coming in with a seat that's a little bit warmer than it's been in the past, even though he won a Stanley Cup his first season. The average lifespan of a VGK coach is 2.5 seasons. And we talked about late in the season, I believe Cassidy had the 6th or 7th or 8th most seniority as far as consecutive time of service for an NHL team, and 2 seasons hadn't even gone by at that point. So my point is Sweeney, Cassidy, DeBoer, and John Cooper's been fortunate to be in the same place for a long time, but everyone understands what the life is of an NHL coach, and you are being hired to be fired in a 2 to 4 year span. That's just how it goes. And Pete DeBoer had a great point about that. Pete DeBoer talked about the relationship building with the players and stuff. It's not like it was back when you had some of these coaches just yelling behind the bench and going bonkers and basically threatening the players with being benched or being yelled at and just completely treated inappropriately in front of their teammates when they make a mistake. And now it's different. It's about relationship building and supporting and stuff. But coaches still get fired in a very quick amount of time. So I thought it was nice that DeBoer spoke about that sometime during last season.
Yeah, all right. Cassidy could definitely let things go. Remember when VGK played in Boston last year? He was talking about perhaps wearing his Stanley Cup championship ring on the
That's pretty
bench.
good.
Yeah, he can just let things go.
Well, that's
And Jack
chirping.
Eichel,
That's friendly chirping. That's friendly.
okay,
I think that's Cassidy having some fun.
okay. And Jack Eichel is also on Team USA, and they'll be naming the rest of their roster. So we'll see Cassidy coaching. Cassidy's going to be coaching against Jack Eichel. There's just so many different pieces here. It's going to be
fun though. That's
Yeah.
what the fun of this is. I mean, like I said, that's why if this was a summer event, I'll be so much better. I would be so much more supportive of it. But I understand why they do it during the season, and it's fun. I mean, the storylines that come out and everything. This isn't going to be like the Olympics or anything, but it's going to still be a lot of fun. They're going to take it extremely seriously, similar to the World Cup of hockey they've done in the past and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good time.
Okay,
What other playing against each other?
What other VGK players were going to be on rosters? Of course, the IKEA line is a natural for Sweden. They've got to be on that suite. Who else is out there from Sweden? The Finland team.
And any Carlson in the AHL, right? Eric Carlson, William Carlson.
Any Carlson. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Stay with us. Coming up next, could Shea Theodore be a man on a mission this upcoming season if he stays here in VGK land? We'll talk about that when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. We want to tell you about Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply. I was looking yesterday and perusing around Gametime and looking for UFC tickets. My goodness, UFC at the Sphere, the Noche UFC. Those tickets are, no matter who you get them through, are just unreal. 2 tickets was, I think, over upstairs in Section 3 was well over $1,800 a ticket for upstairs. Okay, lighten up here. In any event, you know where to go to get your tickets. It's Gametime. Myself and Chris, we use this periodically. You save more with exclusive flash deals. You can select your seats ahead of a game or an event. Zone deals save even more when you choose a section. And then Gametime will choose the seat. The seat views, you get a panoramic view from your seat and from the app, and you can see where you're going to buy your tickets. And they've got the lowest price guarantee. Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets for any event here in Las Vegas. And also, it is Major League Baseball season, and a lot of folks will pick up tickets wherever you're at. And also, Las Vegans like to travel to Southern California to catch some baseball. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Of course, you could find us wherever you get your podcast. And please make sure tomorrow's WTF. Yeah, we'll do a show tomorrow. This is how we decide right here on the air. Yeah. It's
okay, good. I know we were talking about that. Good.
Yeah. Gametime decision. And yeah, we had the Gametime app. And now we have a Gametime decision. WTF tomorrow. Oh, thanks. Wow, good move. Your technical skills have improved, bro. And then on
better
Saturdays,
than my microphone use yesterday, folks. Sorry if it sounded weird. I had the wrong microphone selected.
It was a little tinty.
So, yeah.
It was a little tinty.
I sounded like Tony yesterday, guys. I'm sorry.
We gave you some slack because you just got back from vacation. Now, before we get into this topic about Shea Theodore, we do have some breaking news. Some breaking news. So, this past month in July, happy August to you and to everyone who celebrates. This past July, a month ago, Sportsnet, right? They parted ways with Jeff Marek. Now, the news that is something we're going to follow here. Marek has been questioned by the Nevada Gaming Control Board and NHL security forget this, allegedly leaking which players teams were drafting moments before picks were publicly announced. So there is a story today in The Athletic, and something we will keep an eye on because it's international news, but it's also localized here in Southern Nevada. Never ends.
I leaked the Golden Knights draft pick.
You did. So, okay, Gaming Control Board, that is Chris Golick's voice, and you can see him there on the screen. And you could also find him on X at TD Christian. Oh, you switched it over. Okay, so I'm figuring, I was like, why do we still, I've got Shea Theodore, Theo fatigue, if you will. But I'm figuring the only reason why Chris wants to talk about Shea Theodore today is because, on this show, we are so big on birthdays. And Shea Theodore will be celebrating his 29th birthday. A big shout out goes out to Shea Theodore on Saturday. So I'm sure that's why you want it. Well, what makes you believe that Theodore could return in grand fashion if he stays in a VGK uniform?
I'm excited for Theodore. I know I've talked about his possibility of being a trade piece, maybe even expendable could be the word. We've talked about how his output definitely declined when Noah Hannafin arrived. His first 22, 23 games, Shea Theodore was just around a point per game pace. Noah Hannafin comes, he dropped down to a point in about 70 or 71% of his games. Why did that happen? Well, number one, Shea Theodore got bounced off that top power play spot, and it's not like the power play splits time equally. The top power, the NHL is shifting to a one power play unit league where they play 90 to 60, 105 seconds of the power play until it's about to expire right now. So Theodore definitely, and I think he wasn't even out there as much in like empty net situations and stuff. So long story longer, Noah Hannafin bumped Shea Theodore in the lineup. If anyone wants to argue that, all you got to do is look at the stats. Shea Theodore's going to be pissed off coming into the season if he does remain a Golden Knight. And if Shea Theodore can stay healthy, I think you're going to see Theodore wanting to earn that spot back on the top power play unit. You're going to see him doing his best to obviously put up points and be that mobile puck-moving defenseman that he can be elite when things are going well. I mean, Theodore is an elite level offensive defenseman when healthy. I highlighted, it was probably about this time last year, I wrote about Shea Theodore as a dark horse Norris candidate. Again, if he can stay healthy. Theodore has the ability to get to that like 68 to 70 to 72 point threshold, which is where you start getting that consideration. Is he going to take it from a Roman Josi or a Cale Makar? That's probably stretching a little bit. But Theodore, if he can stay healthy, I think it's going to be fun watching what he does this season.
So one of the things that I think that could happen here is Theo does stay here with VGK, because also of note, we like the personal notes on this show. Baby Theo is expected to arrive in September. That's nice. You don't want to be moving, and especially if they start to move him in August and early September, right? If there is a trade.
You honestly think Kelly McCrimmon gives a you-know-what about the timing of trading any player on the Golden Knights? Well, I don't care about a kid.
You don't care about a kid. Okay.
Just Will. No, I'm not making that joke.
Okay. No, it was pretty good, though. It was good. You were going there. And we saw that Theodore missed 3 months plus of time. Again, does need to stay healthy. He had 42 points this past season, and that was 1 point better than his career best of 41 in the Stanley Cup championship season.
Shea Theodore 52 points in the 21-22 season.
Oh, he just made something up here. Okay. Yeah, that's a lie. Okay, a lie. Strike that from the record. I watch a lot of court TV.
Happened. No, I mean, listen, again, Theodore, last season, I mean, if we would have told you at the start of the season.
That was a backwards K.
That's okay. It happens. No, but listen, Theodore, if we would have told you that his points pace would have been 47, 42, I don't know, 84%, whatever that math is, we would have said, hey, good season, Theodore, good job. Unfortunately, the amount of games is where the concern is. Theodore, over his last 2 seasons, has played in 102 of a possible 164 regular season games. I don't care if they're fluke injuries, bone injury. I don't care how they happened. They happened. You got to be on the ice, number one. End of story. Now, prior to these last 2 seasons, Shea Theodore has been relatively healthy. Played and adjusted 69 of 82 regular season games in the first year for the Golden Knights. 18-19, 79 games. 19-20, 71 games. The bubble 56-game season, Theodore played 53 games. And then the 21-22 career year with 52 points, Tony, 78 games.
I read this wrong. I read it wrong. It says, my bullet point says better point production actually than in 2022-23 season, 41 points in the Cup season, 42 this past season.
His pace was.
I just read it the wrong way. It doesn't say anywhere in my notes career best. I just made that up.
Your napkin. You need a bigger napkin. You need to go to better casinos with bigger cocktail napkins.
I need bigger napkins.
Go to the Win and Encore. Stop hanging out at Casino Royale. No, so I mean, listen, Theodore got to stay healthy. Again, I don't care what the injuries were. I don't care how it doesn't matter. They're injuries. They happened. Theodore and anyone for that matter, but Theodore is the highlight right now. Theodore needs to stay on the ice. Needs to be out there for at least 65 to 68 games. If that can get over 70, that's even better. If he can stretch a 78 to 80 point or 80 game season and points, I guess that would be remarkable. And like I said, Theodore was bumped in the lineup, day one misfit, right? You know, all the accolades there. The misfits are dwindling. And in comes Noah Hanifin. He's here for 5 minutes, gets that huge, massive extension as Shea Theodore is entering a contract year. These are all things that, and not just Shea Theodore, but the rest of the team sees things like this. I know Jonathan Marchessault, his eyes lit up, his eyebrows went up when Noah Hanifin got that contract, even though the Golden Knights don't negotiate extensions during playoff pushes.
Not during not late in the season. No way.
So
no way.
Yeah. Theodore's got plenty of fuel, plenty of motivation.
What he should have said was
chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, he should have said that they don't overpay. Oh no, they did that as well. They overpaid Hanifin.
I don't know if they overpaid. I don't know if they overpaid.
I think
Hanifin.
They did.
I don't know.
They just took the exact same contract terms from Gary and brought them here. It's the same exact terms. It was because that was the exact number and term of that contract that was proposed in Calgary, and then he turned that down to come here, no state tax. Contract season, as you mentioned, making $5.2 million if he stays. I do not believe that he will be back, Shea Theodore, in 25, 26. The kid will be approaching almost 1 year old, and so they don't care. As you said, McCrimmon just doesn't care.
I think it's unlikely that Theodore signs another VGK contract, whether Theodore starts the season or finishes the season.
If he exceeds his contract, they want him to fail so they could lowball him. That's the only way they want him to go. They want him to have a 40-point season.
I don't think a world exists where
they weren't rooting against Marchessault last year. Come on.
I don't think. I mean, if they're rooting against their own players, then they're rooting against. I mean,
so what
they want Marchessault to have a to regular season.
Yes, the gaming
and do well in the playoffs, though, right?
Gaming Control Board is also investigating whether or not Kelly McCrimmon took the under on points and goals for Marchessault. That was bad. Okay, but he is now Shea Theodore. This can be like the expiring contract pairing. He'll be on the second pairing, right, with Brady McNabb.
Another topic, but I hope
parking lot
put defensive pairings in the parking lot. But I think there should be an overhaul of the lines coming into this season.
Okay, coming up next, folks, we have a look at this VGK caravan. Chris with an in-depth analysis comes your way next, right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. I kind of threw you for one there. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. I know the caravan is your favorite topic of the day, but we do need to keep, of course, our viewers and listeners informed.
I'm shaking my head because you commented that I had the in-depth analysis. Let me go.
I know that was pretty good.
Here and do some research.
No, it's all good. Don't worry. I'll just lead you into this. There's not much to talk about on Caravan, but don't forget on Fridays, WTF, that's tomorrow. So please chime in. There's so much to talk about. And also, maybe we do a follow-up with the 4 players that we would leave unprotected. Some lively chatter. If there were an NHL expansion draft coming up here, what 4 players? We forgot about Robin Leonard. I think maybe we forgot about. No, we didn't forget about him. And then on Saturdays, of course, you've got the Chris and Chris Jr. show sometimes. And make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So the Golden Knights caravan, it reached its first destination yesterday, Jackson, Wyoming. Okay, 9 days, 5 stops for this caravan. It is a grind for a lot of the interns that go on this trip in particular. That first stop was Jackson, Wyoming. And then we've got, I just saw 2 player appearances. One is a little confounding to me because not only is Isaiah Seville not 6 feet tall, but is he still with the team? He's going to be in Coeur d'Alene. I thought for some reason they didn't renew his contract. And then Nick Hague. I don't know where I got that from. Probably where I got the Theodore stats from. Nick Hague will be up in Reno at the clinic up there.
All goofiness aside here, this caravan there is importance level to it. They've been doing it, I think, since the second Golden Knights season. I could be wrong. They might have even done this leading into the first season. But, especially now in Northern Nevada, you have an ECHL team. You're going to have an AHL team up there. And it's just about getting the exposure and everything. And obviously they go around the TV market for the most part. I know we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But it's important, right? I mean, little things like this, the grassroots campaigns and stuff, and making the Golden Knights the local team of, cities and stuff that are outside of Nevada and outside of Las Vegas, more importantly. There is importance there. It is good to see, and they have a good time when they get up to these areas and everything. You got usually Chance or the Golden Knight are up there doing their thing. As well.
Chance is there. You didn't see that little vignette that was filmed.
I just saw they got George McPhee out there. Actually, they got McPhee.
I don't think he's on the trip. They put
no, but McPhee making a video
under McPhee's desk. So I don't know what's not going on over there.
They're insinuating that McPhee has a cubicle, by the way, which I'll take the under on that one, and only 1 monitor. I will comfortably say McPhee has at least 2 monitors in his office and not a cubicle.
Okay, this is also This is a trip where they build viewership, right, through Scripps Sports, and they also were promoting that it's promoting viewership with the Nighttime app, which I can't even get down the street. Like it freezes on me repeatedly. Does this reach Jackson, Wyoming? I'm sorry, I was just being.
No, listen, I know people have made comments about it, and trust me, I have no problem being fair and level when it comes to things involving the Golden Knights.
Were you on the app this year? Were you on
the Nighttime app? I had 0 issues with it. I had 0. Now to be fair, whenever I've used the app, it was always at home in my house where I have the world's fastest internet and the planets.
And the worst microphone? Worst microphone.
The microphone, not so much. So the worst experience I had with the app was during intermissions, having to exit out and go back in. I don't know if I've ever logged into the app once on my phone. It was always through an Amazon Fire Stick. So maybe that's the better way to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. I had it. There was, we were in the press room there at UNLV at the Thomas and Mack. Forgot what game it was. It froze and started buffering. And then when we returned, the game-winning goal had been scored. So everyone was like, oh.
Who scored it? Golden Knights or the other team?
Oh, Golden Knights. They won the game. Whatever. I can't remember the game. But 2,700 miles on this caravan. And, of course, we'll see if anything happens there. And I think we need to find out, is Isaiah Seville still under contract? And then, of course, you've got Hague up there in Reno, which should be,
Won't they trade Hague while he's on the caravan?
Now, that would be kind of crazy, right?
No.
A trade, like,
it would be completely expected, and it would not be crazy. And I'm not knocking the Golden Knights when I say that. Anything can happen in the NHL at any time. And I don't see Hague as someone the team wants to trade. I think he's on a very team-friendly deal considering what his upside is, but you never know.
We appreciate everyone tuning in to our show. Thank you so much. Of course, don't forget tomorrow is WTF, What the Friday. Come prepared. Bring your best. Bring the heat, as they say. And Saturdays, sometimes we have the Chris. You like that? We have the Chris and Chris Jr. show. That is a YouTube exclusive here. And please subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked on Golden Knights. And please take care.